This is Glenara Forest Park. Don't know if you can hear me. And this is supposed to be one of my most favourite places in the world to go running, but I'm out running and I'm not enjoying it, and it's kind of a problem. Welcome to Ranty Runs. The purpose of Ranty Runs is where I just kind of rant and run at the same time. And to be honest, today I don't even feel like running. That's a tiny hill. I could easily run up it, but I've just entirely lost my desire to do so. And that's what I'm going to talk about, and what hopefully the solution is going to be. Because if you've been on this channel before, you'll know that running is a huge part of my life. And for me to completely lose the desire to go out and run is just crazy. And to not enjoy running somewhere like this is just mad as well. And if you haven't been here before, go and watch a different video because they're far more interesting. Go and watch my Ring of Steel race because that relates to this. But anyway, 4 weeks ago I was in Scotland running the Ring of Steel mountain race, the most spectacular, epic, difficult mountain race I've ever done. That was a huge high, and since then, 4 weeks later, I've only run twice, and I've actually lost a huge amount of fitness. I would really struggle to do any proper mountain running at the minute because I haven't run up a hill in 4 weeks. That's like, it's crazy. I went from running in mountains 6 hours a week plus other running on top of that to, pretty much zero. I've done a 5k, and today I've run like a mile, and then I just felt like I couldn't be bothered, so I thought, you know what, I'll make this video. So I think I've lost my desire to run for a few reasons. One is I've just had post-event crash. You train for a big event, you've got that goal, you achieve it, and then you've got nothing to aim for anymore. And I am thoroughly right in the middle of the phase of training. So maybe I just need to sign up for another event, but I don't even feel like it. It's getting into winter, and there aren't really any events over winter, and that's part of it. When I left to go to Scotland, it was still summer, it was still warm, it was still nice weather to go out and run. I've come back and it looks okay at the minute, but it's just cold. My hands are getting numb, it's dreary, it's drizzly, everything's starting to turn brown, and that just massively affects my mood every year. And then the other thing is I've been sick. I was slightly sick before I went to Scotland. The week before I felt kind of headachy, I had sort of hotness behind my eyeballs, not a good sign. So I thought, you know what, I'm not going to Scotland, so I pushed ahead. I think it was rallied for that week, but it was a non-stop week. If you think I had a relaxing holiday, it was not. It was just like go for the entire week. I did a camping trip, I was hiking up mountains, I was shooting drone footage to support the race. I ran the race. The day after the race, I climbed 900 meters back up a mountain to shoot drone footage. The day after that, I didn't leave the van for almost the entire day. I stayed in bed. That's how bad I felt. And then I come home, I was sick. And then I come home to find Louise is sick with a cough. And when Louise has a cough, it is the most annoying thing you can possibly imagine. She her coughs are, she coughs like a Balrog. And when you're lying in bed and you're trying to sleep and it's 3 o'clock in the morning and all of a sudden and when Louise gets a cough, it goes on for quite some time, so wasn't getting a lot of quality sleep. And then of course I caught the cough off Louise, so I've had at least 2 things back to back. It's 4 weeks later, I've still got a bit of a cough, I've still got a bit of a sore throat, one of my ears is kind of blocked and painful from some kind of, I don't know, maybe I've got an ear infection or something. So I'm just run down in general. So yeah, it's left me at the point where I'm actually not worried, but I don't want to run. Every run I've gone on, it's because I've forced myself to go out. I've forced myself to come out here today. I got to the car park. I sat in the car or in the van for an hour before I came out. I just didn't want to run. And then the last thing is, because I've been putting so much training, like I was dedicating almost 2 days a week to training for that race. Well, one full day and a lot of time. It was like over probably 15 hours a week by the time you add in travel and everything like that into it. You know, it's almost the equivalent of 2 working days doing training, and that was for at least the real intense training for at least a couple of months, and then before that it was at least one. So it was a lot of time, and now suddenly the pressure's off because that goal's gone, and I have all this extra free time. I got my Fridays back because Fridays were typically my mountain day. Like, it's great. Yesterday I just spent the entire day building new furniture for my van. I often take Fridays off because I usually end up working other days and I do longer hours. So anyway, yeah, it's been really, really nice having more time all of a sudden to do other things, and it's almost made me resent running. So that's going to be a problem if we go straight into winter and that attitude remains, because what will happen is what happens to me other times. I become completely inactive over the winter and I just eat rubbish all winter. I get to the new year, I've put on quite a bit of weight, and then when I start running again and trying to train it, I'm heavier, I'm slower, and everything's just miserable, and I hate it. All those things added together, I need to do something about it. So what I've decided to do is, what's the least effort I can put in that's still going to be worthwhile, but it's not going to seem like something big I need to do, and it's small enough I can sort of force myself to do it every day. So I've decided for 4 weeks I'm going to run 5k, 3 miles every single day, because I can do that in half an hour, so there's no excuse not to do it. And because it's a short distance, I don't feel like I need to go and run somewhere like this. I can just go run around the road, half an hour, done. And then I'll check back and see how that goes. Now, I've tried to do challenges like this in the past. At one point I tried to run 6 miles every day. I lasted 4 days. I'm terrible at developing any kind of regular habits, so there were a couple of allowances to make sure I actually managed to do this. One of the allowances is that, well, I can run more than 5k if I want to, so I can go somewhere more interesting, but I can swap some of the runs for bike rides or another exercise, as long as I do sort of equal effort. So if I swap it for a bike ride, I have to do at least 10k, because running is twice as hard as cycling. Running uses about twice the amount of calories for the same time you're out, so if I'm going to go out on the bike, I should do twice the distance or twice the time. And yeah, that's kind of it. What I'm not allowed to do is I'm not allowed to skip days, because I am someone who likes to bend the rules. And if I say I can skip days but I have to do double the next day, I'll just like skip an entire week and decide I'll do a long run at the weekend, and then the long run won't happen. So I'm not allowed to skip days. I have to do something every single day. No other goals than that. So I'll try that, see how it goes, and see if it kind of gets me back into running again. It's going to do one or two things. It's either going to make me more enthusiastic about running, or I'm just going to really resent it, and it's going to make things much worse. And we'll find out what happens. I mean, yeah, but it has blown my mind just how much I don't want to run at the minute. I've even got a new hat. I actually genuinely thought getting a new hat would make me want to run more. Didn't work. Hat failure. So that's where we're at. The one thing I know to be absolutely true about myself is I can't trust myself to make and hold a decision. So that's one of the reasons why I'm making this video rather than making a video called I ran 5 miles every. Because if I decide I'm going to make that video, I won't do it. By making this public means I'm more likely to do it. But yeah, that's kind of it. I'd love to hear from anyone who's a runner, if you've experienced kind of the same thing. I mean, I have always got that post-race crash. It's just all these things combined have made it so much worse. I'd love to know what your top tips are for getting yourself out and running again. And I'm going to go now. I deliberately ran to the bottom of the valley because it means I have to, even if I walk back up, I have to at least put in some kind of reasonable effort. So that's it for this video. Thank you all for watching. Thank you for everybody to subscribe, and thank you to all the channel members. If you're not a channel member, you can join for like the price of one very fancy coffee a month. And I post up some bonus videos on there, some stuff that won't ever get published anywhere else. There's early access to videos, and yeah, there's just some extra content there, or it's just a way if you want to say thanks or support the channel. But, right, bye bye.